So the fact that you approached me and you want to tell your story, you can start from any part of your story that you would like to talk about. Really, the floor is yours, and then we just go back and forth from there.
Okay. So I like to give people the nutshell, but for today, I'm just going to start from my earliest memory. Okay.
Okay.
So my earliest memory is sitting on my living room floor, cutting up pictures of my father, taking the head off the pictures. And so as I got older, every night I would have this recurring dream about me being in my crib, right? And so I'm in this crib, and then I hear somebody coming. So then I look and I'm real excited. I'm jumping up and down in my crib. And then this shadow comes in. And once the shadow picks me up, I have this black screen. The dream is still going on, but it's a black screen. And during that black screen, it would just be me thinking of different ways to unalive my father. Right?
Gotcha.
So every day I went to sleep. That was my dream. It was nonstop. Right? So I had a little experience with the church as a child via my grandmother. So my grandmother, it was mandatory. If we didn't have plans to be out of town, we had to go with her to church. My uncle was the pastor. So I can't say that I didn't have exposure to church, but I can say I didn't take it seriously because I was already having symptoms of CSA.
And what is CSA for those that don't know?
Child abuse, childhood abuse.
Gotcha.
And so by the time I realized there was an issue, my mother had this boyfriend. I was probably like 7 or 9 years old. I was 7 years old when we met, but I was about 9 years old. I was about to go to middle school, and they had this sex education class. It was the first one they were going to have, the first one in the county, right? So I'm sitting there, and this lady's like, okay, how many of you have been touched here? What about here? What about here? So when I raised my hand for 2 out of 3, they pulled me out of class. And so they took me to the guidance office, and I had to tell them, what happened. I was like, well, my mother's boyfriend, he touches me here, just wherever he wants to. And she was like, where? I said, on his gazebo in the front yard. So during this time, while he was doing this, when they called my mom, she flew over to his house. Oh, she's in a rage, right?
Yeah.
So the only thing I remember about the rest of that day is they argued until they went in the room, and then we didn't go home until after midnight.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm talking about? So, and while he would do it, across the street would be his daughter and her husband sitting on the porch watching.
Yeah.